American football in Finland.
The voice in your ears and the face on your screen. I'm Perfect Pervis, and this is American Football in Finland. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Coach Q. What up, Q?
What up? What up? We back.
Yes, buddy, finally getting close to the playoffs. The AFF podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast, and you can see us visually here on YouTube. Wherever you listen or watch, be sure to subscribe, follow, and like us. Anyone who listens or watches but doesn't hit that button, we know you're a hater, but that's cool. On to the show, anyways. All right, we got first down where we get to start fresh and discuss whatever is on our mind. Coach Q, what's good with you?
Not much, man. Just same old in the desert. Hot. Other than that, life is good, man. But yeah, let's get into it. We had a crazy weekend. I'm ready to get into that.
Yeah, I think we might go a little long because I do want to get into that. But I do want to start with saying a little something about what I was doing this weekend. We had the flag football championships here in Finland. The women's tournament was very competitive. A lot of good games. Like there was 4 teams. So like they played like a semis and they played like a third place and a championship. And pretty much every game was less than 2 or 3 points difference. And even the final championship game came down to 7 seconds on the clock, fade to the back of the end zone, 1 foot, by none other than your favorite receiver, Tia Janssen, to win the championship for the Turkey Trojans.
Wow.
I thought you might like to
Wow.
hear that.
Yeah,
Tia,
that's dope.
yeah, she was out there doing her thing. A lot of good teams. The HFF Flag Club was really good. Turkey Trojans ladies won the championship. And again, another really good team. But then you had like the Kuzenkowski Cowgirls. And then who was the other team? You had the Pink Birds, which is a very young team of national team type players. So really good competition on the women's side, and it looks like the future of flag football in Finland is going to be pretty good. I'm excited to see a lot of those teams at the Turkey Bowl later on this year. And then on the men's side, not as much competition per se in the amount of teams, but the Flag Lions did win their 3rd consecutive SM championship. So shout out to Miro the Hero and those guys for getting the goal again for the summer championship. So that's where I was this weekend doing the flag. Made it a little difficult to watch all these games and be at the flag tournament. I did pull it off. I was able to watch every game, except for one of them. I only got to like the 3rd quarter, but I watched it till the final score. So I was like, enough. But that's first down. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into our helmet stickers. Talk about some of the key player performances from this week. All stats aside, these are players who deserve recognition. We give players 1, 2, or 3 helmet stickers, depending on their performance. We'll start with the 1 sticker performances. And I didn't have time to get all my stats this time, so I'm just going to wing it like you and just go off of what I know. But who do you got for 1 stickers, Q?
1 sticker. I believe his name is for the Wolverines. The receiver,
Matthias Tuominen.
Yeah.
They call him Young
just
Maddie.
for him. Yeah. For him starting the game off right with a touchdown, nice, yak and get in the end zone, just to get him a start to their game. This is a good performance to me. I like that part of his game, or that game anyway. I didn't really have a lot of 1 star. I have a few 2 stars, but 1 star, he stuck out to me. The safety from the Roosters, Thornton. I believe he had 2 picks. I want to say 2 picks. I know he had a crucial pick in the game at a good time, definitely a good turnover to get. So I gave him 1-star performance for that. Also number 44 for the Sanayoki Crocodiles. He got a 1-star performance for me too.
Alton
Um,
Tuoko.
yeah, all over the field.
Hold
Made
on,
a
you gave
lot of,
him
lot of. Go ahead.
you gave him a 1-star. He had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I know,
Wow,
I know.
he's
He
stripped.
can go for 2. He can go for 2. Don't count him on one like that, but he can get a 2 too. But I just like his performance. He had a big impact on the game. So yeah, those are my starts anyway.
Let me go for my 1-stars. I had Nolan Burnett from ECG. I actually do have some of their stats, but he had like 8.5 tackles and 1 interception. And I gave him a 1-sticker performance before I even looked at the stats. So I didn't know he had an interception. And like I didn't see the last like quarter of that game. But basically, number 21 was all over the field for ECG, and that was really good to see. And so I gave him a star. Next guy I gave a sticker to is Neo Nieminen. I don't know how to say his last name, but the backup quarterback that came in for East City Giants came in, tossed a touchdown almost right away, kept them up in that game, made sure they got the win. That big kudos to him for stepping and filling in the shoes for Raina Stewart. Like that was just a really solid performance that he was able to control that team and keep them in the league. Because we've seen quarterbacks basically come in and lose games, and that's all he was told to do is just don't lose it, and that's what he did. So give him 1 sticker. Another guy from East City Giants, number 88. I want to say Jerry Humpy. I'm not sure how to pronounce J names when they're at the beginning of the name because it can't be Gary, can it? I don't know. But anyways, he had 3 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. He looked good. He got behind the defense early in the game. I thought he was going to score a touchdown then, but then later in the game, he had a couple more big catches, helped the East City Giants move down the field. Other 1-sticker performances, I have Oni Karki from Kuopio Steelers, number 6, played nickelbacker in this game, made a lot of like plays that slowed down the Butchers. I wouldn't say stopped anybody, but a lot of plays where they would normally get extra yards, number 6 was there to say, hey, that's all you're getting today. So I liked how he was playing. Next guy, Alex Harriott from the Roosters, number 8. He was all around the field. I think on that interception, I think he's the one that patted it down.
Mm.
Like I think because somebody hit the ball and then it
They
went
went in
up.
the air. Yeah.
And I think it was him. I could be wrong, but I think it might have been him. Next guy on my list is Tristan Rankin from the Royals. He played good on defense as usual. I think he even got an interception. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have his stats. But I do know that him playing on offense was a game changer for them. And he came in seamlessly, basically taking over where Quigley wasn't able to be in the game this week. And he was able to kind of fill that void for them. So that was really good to see him playing on offense and defense. Last guy I'm giving 1 sticker to Chase McCoy from the Saints. I know the game didn't go the way they want to, but number 75, for some reason, he's wearing number 75 in his jersey. He was in the backfield all day. If you watch the film, there was always pressure right up the middle. And that was him, Chase McCoy, all day, consistently in the backfield. He can't play 11 positions, and I understand that, and that's why his team lost. But he was out there balling, and I'm giving him a sticker so y'all remember who he is. Chase McCoy is out there. That's all my 1 sticker. So let's go to 2 stickers. Who you got?
Starting out first, I'm going for Mickey from the Portable Butchers, having the pick 6. He got in the end zone. With 2 big plays in that game to help the Butchers win. Who else I went for 2 stickers? It was a lot of games. I feel like it was a lot of people too that had things.
It's a lot. I think it was a lot of 2 stickers.
Lyles, the quarterback for the San Diego Crocodiles.
Mm-hmm.
Well managed game. Well managed game. They committed to running the ball between him and Sip, and he made some good throws when he needed to. He didn't do too much and didn't do too less. He did his job as a quarterback for that team and put them in a position to make sure they won that game, especially with them going up early. So I gave Lyles 2 stars, 2 stickers. Christian Powell, I gave him 2 stickers, and the reason I'm giving him 2 stickers is because who I got for 3 stickers has had a way better game to me. But
I can understand that.
but the Butchers, with Christian Powell, his presence running the ball up the middle is just something that people can't really deal with, and it kept a lot of drives going. Him running them screens, kept drives going. So I gave him 2 stickers for that. Who else I got? Let me go down the line. And go
He
to the
had
next one.
120 yards.
I gave Stewart for the ECG 2 stickers too. They were down 10-0, and he started, cranking it up and getting the offense going with his legs, and he did a real good job of that. And
Actually,
and
I have his stats. I'm gonna throw it out there. I have Raina Stewart for 2 stickers too. He threw for 140 yards with 53% completion with 2 touchdowns, but he rushed for 74 yards and had a rushing touchdown. So he had 3 touchdowns in the game and had over 200 total yards. Like, he was their offense. He did a really good job.
Yeah, big part of moving the ball around for their offense and getting it going. So I gave him 2 stickers. The Royals defense, I gave 2 stickers too. I could have probably gave him a 3 sticker, but I did not expect them to I ain't gonna say not make the plays that they made, but I didn't expect the game to go the way it went. Just off of what the Saints been doing, the Royals made plays. I mean, they forced turnovers. You know what I'm saying? They did what they were supposed to do. They shut the whole offense down. And
I'm gonna let it ride till we talk about the game.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let that ride till we talk about the game, because I got something to say about that.
Yeah.
You got any more?
Nah, you go ahead.
A couple guys I got on there, and this guy, he could probably be a 3, but again, I didn't watch the 4th quarter of the Helsinki game. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't have time to watch the 4th quarter. It was already 26-18, and I knew that was the final score. So I was like, let's just do the podcast today. I literally just finished like 10 minutes ago. But Joshua Youngblood from the Wolverines, did you have him as a 3 sticker?
Nah, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, I got him as 2 sticker. He had 11 receptions, 217 yards, and 1 touchdown. And from what I saw in the game was they were feeding him, and he was getting a large clip every time. Like, I wasn't seeing like 60, 80 yards besides his 1 long touchdown, but he was getting like 15 every time they got him the ball, and they're mostly throwing screens to him in this game. So he was able to help them move the chain. So I gave him 2 stickers. Another guy I gave 2 stickers to, Felix Salonen from E-City Giants. He had 9.5 tackles and an interception in this game. But from what I saw him playing in the game, you just saw number 54 making a lot of plays, getting to the ball fast. He's that like middle linebacker for them, and he was always one of the first people to the ball, kind of helped slow down whatever running game the Wolverines were trying to have. So I really liked his play in this one. Next guy on here, Christian Arambide. I gave him 2 stars, 2 stickers. I don't know what his stats are like, but he played really well in this game, and using his legs, he was able to like move the chain a lot of times. There's a lot of times where I think the coverage was good, but him being able to move in the pocket and get yards with his legs made up for the fact that the Steelers were in pretty good coverage for most of the game. There was a little bit of pressure, but not a lot of pressure. So I really liked his performance, and him leading them on that 2-minute drill at the end of the game. I mean, I almost gave him 3 stickers just for that, because they legitimately had 2 exact minutes, and he took them down that field and then exclamated it with his long touchdown run. So good on him for a great performance this week. Last guy I'm going to put out there is Bryce Nunnally from the Roosters. I know they lost, but I don't care that they lost. You sent me a message saying, the Roosters are losing, and I told you in the group chat, just throw it to Bryce Nunnally. Stop doing all that other stuff. And I watched the game. That's about when they started doing that. Started getting him the ball, and things started looking better for them. And that's like what he was bringing to the table every week. And the team just has to figure out a way to make it a more consistent thing. But in this game, he was still lights out at that position at wide receiver. And he made a lot of big plays, got him down the field one time, then another time scored the touchdown, kept them in the game. So he gets 2 stickers from me. Now, when we go to 3 stickers, do you have any 3 stickers?
Yeah, I got 3 stickers.
I have three stickers. How many three
Right,
stickers do you have?
I think I got like 3. Yeah,
You
I
got
got
3?
like 3.
I
Yeah.
hope we got the same 3. Give me your 3. Who
No,
you
no,
got?
you just said somebody. I gave Christian Aaron B 3 stickers. And the reason I gave it to him
Go ahead.
is just because of that. Not only just the plays that he made with his feet, but the fact that he was just still so calm in this game, even though it wasn't going the way that we usually see in that offense move. But he still stayed in there. He stayed confident and made some plays. And then the last drive, just the patience, him to being smart enough to keep plays going, and put him in, and then scoring the game-winning touchdown. You can't beat that, man. So I had to give him 3 stickers for that. I also gave Mr. Callahan 3 stickers too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Man, the boy, like when you really watch the game, past PBUs, the tackles that he made, the plays that he made, sideline to sideline, he literally like gave 100% effort. I'm gonna tell you that, like he was everywhere, all over the place. All I seen was him celebrate, throwing his arm up all the time because they made a lot of plays, and this is a real physical game, game. I'm sure it was more physical in person, but Callahan was part of the reason why. He was there a lot. He was there a lot, and I think that had an effect on the rest of the defense. But yeah, I gave him 3-star. I mean, a 3 sticker. And who's my third person? I think I had another person. You know what? That might be 2. I think I might have just had 2. Youngblood. I was gonna give Youngblood 3 stickers too, even though they lost. But I got to give Youngblood 3 blood. So he had a good game too.
That's interesting. Oh, let me throw out my 3 stickers. I thought you were gonna name one of these guys. You didn't name none of them.
I mentioned name Kahari Lane too for the 2 stickers. He played he played a good game, and never mind. I don't know where my mind went. I do have a 3-star. My 4th 3-star, and that's Ethan Greenfield.
Okay,
Ethan
cool. That's one of my guys.
I wanted to say him last, and it just went by my mind. Ethan Greenfield had probably one of the strongest running games that I've seen. I mean, literally nobody was. I might have seen.
You want to hear the stats? You want to hear the stats?
Yeah, go on and grab the stats because I know
I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking them up.
That's crazy. But
Ethan
Greenfield controlled that game.
He had 32 carries. First of all, don't get it twisted. He had 32 carries, 216 yards rushing with 1 rushing touchdown. Then he had 4 receptions for 63 yards and 1 touchdown. He had 44 yak. So he had 279 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Ethan Greenfield showed up to that game. Literally showed up to that game. I did not expect them both teams. I felt like said they were going to run the ball. That's what I felt like. They were going to bully the other one, and they literally was going back and forth. And then Corpio, offensive line Corpio. So I could have gave them 2 stickers too because they opened up a lot of holes for Ethan Greenfield, and he just had a dominant game on the ground and passing. So yeah, shout out to Ethan Greenfield for pushing them to the limit.
Yeah, definitely would give it to him. So that would have been my first 3 sticker. My second guy was going to be, again, a guy I really thought you was going to say, but maybe you just forgot about him, and that's Charles Acano.
Yeah, I told you so many games, man.
Yeah, so many games. Yeah, I understand. Because and when I was watching the game, like you had already said in the group chat that he was like everywhere. So I was kind of looking for him. Like early in the game, I was like, okay, he got a couple things going on, couple this. And it says here he has 5 tackles for loss. Oh, let me be more specific. It says he has 4 sacks in this game.
Yeah.
And 1
What was everywhere, man? What was everywhere?
There was towards the end of the game. I gotta look at. I'm sorry, I gotta look at my notes. Normally, it's for the game, but at the end of the game, there was a point where like the Roosters needed it. They needed to make something happen, and Akano shut that down from the jump of that drive. There was like one specific drive where he made at least 2 tackles for loss, all within like 1 drive, and it basically kept the Roosters from having any chance in that game. And after that, I was like, well, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. He had another play. He had another play and I know people probably that just casually watching the game probably didn't notice, but he was on the D line. He rushed, didn't get any
I saw it.
pressure, and they threw the ball down the field, and
He
he
ended up.
saved the touchdown. I don't know how this is even possible. And I
You
thought
saw that
about,
too.
man, I said, how did he get? And then I watched the play over. I'm like, wow, that's effort right there, man. That's like real 100% effort. You can't coach that, none of that. Like I mean, the Roosters scored on that drive, the very next play or something, but like that was still a hell of an effort from McConnell. He was everywhere.
Exactly, like you said. I can't believe that you saw that. That's the exact same play that I saw. That I was gonna say something about. I was like, not like it wasn't like a short yard. Like he ran like 60 yards to make that play. Like he ran all the way down, and he did it in real time. The ball is in the air, and he's running, I guess. And I think the safety made the tackle, but the dude was going to be able to. The dude was going to be able to reach for the touchdown, and he came and like cleaned him off or something like that.
Yeah,
it's craziness.
Crazy effort.
Man. Let me see. We got a comment on here. Jesse says the Butchers and the Steelers as teams need 3 stars for a hell of a game. A hell of a game, I tell you.
You're right.
I
That was a
agree
good
with
game.
that.
I agree
with that. Yeah, it's definitely a good game, and we'll get into that later. Last guy that I'll talk about for the 3-sticker performance is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Alpha Jallo. I'm sorry, but we're gonna talk about this later too. But you say what you want to. Alpha be winning games.
He did.
You can say the Royals won if you want to, but I'm gonna say Alpha Jallo be winning games. That man did everything he needed to make sure his team won. He scored on offense. He created 2 turnovers. Both the interceptions he had, they scored off of. So like he set up points in that aspect, and then he went on offense and did his thing as they started the game with him doing is what they needed, and it was good to see him be better than everybody else. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah,
that's 3 stickers for me. Like he was better than everybody on that field that day, and you just can't get any better than that. But yeah, I think we did a good start. Let's get into these games now. All right, first game here on Win or Loss. We got EC Giants versus Helsinki Wolverines. What were your thoughts, Q? Who won? Who lost?
I honestly thought the Wolverines was going to win this game, hence why I picked them.
They were up 10-0.
Yeah. It was at first it looked like it was probably going to go that way, but then ECG turned the juice on, man. So I have to say ECG won the game. They turned the momentum on and made all the plays down the field. I probably think this is one of their best games this year. Even though it was against the Wolverines, I won't knock them for it because they're kind of similar in what they're dealing with on their team. So, but ECG just looked better in a lot of aspects of this game. Made the plays when they needed to. The one-on-one matches they won. So you can't knock them for that. They definitely won the game.
I respectfully disagree. I think the the East City Giants are the better team. Like I thought that going into it. I flipped a coin and went with the Wolverines because last time I picked the East City Giants, they lost. So I was like, oh, let me go the other way. But watch this game at the very beginning. ECG fumbles a kickoff return after the Wolverines score. And then the quarterback fumbles on a scramble, gives the Wolverines the ball. ECG was giving them the game early. And instead of them doing anything with it, they get to a 10-point lead and then stall. Like the even the 10-point lead, you had the touchdown to Maddie. That was a good play by Maddie. Wasn't really a effect of the offense. Also, the DB played the ball horribly, but you take that obviously. But then when they start making mistakes, you have to capitalize. They didn't capitalize. They got that field goal, And shout out to the kicker number 83, did a great job booting that thing in, but your kicker can't be your catalyst. And then after that, they do nothing. And even when they're getting the ball to young blood, they're still like forcing it to him. You know he's gonna get the ball, and the defense is just playing, bend but don't break, and it works. In my opinion, the Wolverines had every incentive to win this game. I don't think they should have won, but it looked like ECG was like, "Hey, here, you can have this," and then they were like, "Oh no, we don't want it. You can have it back." So that's how it went. Because when you look at what the Wolverines did, they didn't make a ton of mistakes. They didn't do a lot of they didn't have a lot of turnovers. They weren't throwing the ball carelessly. They weren't fumbling it. They weren't just giving it to ECG. But what they weren't doing was anything. It was a stick and like you're touching something with your stick and like, hey, move. Are you alive? What are you gonna do? That's what they did. They basically just didn't try to capitalize, which to me, that's you losing the game. Only because I felt like they weren't trying. They weren't trying to win the game. They were just going through the motions and hoping that it worked out. And I felt really bad for them from the defensive side because I think their defense attempted to do some things and it just wasn't in the cards for them. And like you said, though, once the East City Giants started, going, it was over. But at that point, they should have been down like 17, 24-0. It should have been a much harder climb to get it back out of it, but they just didn't. They didn't do anything. I don't know. I guess that's all I got about this game. Again, I only watched up to the third quarter. I'm trying to see if my notes say anything worth talking about. Oh, interesting when Rainer Stewart ran through the whole Wolverines defense. You saw that?
Yeah.
He stumbled through
almost
their
scored.
defense. Yeah, he stumbled. He wasn't even trying to run. He was just bumping into people, and they just were not tackling him. And you can see everybody on their defense just go in there and not tackle this man. And that was the epitome of the game. I think that would sum up the game for you. The East City Giants just kept playing and giving effort while the Wolverines couldn't make a tackle, save their life. So I guess that's it for that game. I really don't have nothing else to say about it. We move on. I don't know why I looped. I don't think I was supposed to loop for this section. My bad. I was supposed to run through it. Next winner loss, Senioki Crocodiles versus Helsinki Roosters. Who won or lost this one for you?
Man, being that I picked the Roosters, right? I picked the Roosters because I thought it would be a more interesting game, even though it still ended up being. But the Crocs won this game. Crocs won this game. I'm giving it to the Crocs. They won the game. Even though it was back and I won't say back and forth, they went up and went up early and made a lot of plays that you want to make at home. And it was real exciting. Akano doing what he was doing, Lyles and Sip, that 1-2 combo. But at the same time, the Roosters put themselves in a lot of bad predicament. Ambrose turned the ball over 3 times at least. Like, you just can't do that against teams like the Crocs, especially at home. No quarterback really can turn the ball over 3 times and have a chance at still winning. Although they did, but it was just too late. But at the same time, you got to play better on a away game, and you just can't put your defense in them predicaments too. So the Crocs definitely won the game, made the plays they needed to make, had the momentum majority of the game. They did get a little gift from the refs. They get a little gift from the refs. I know I'm a Roosters fan, and I'm a fan of a lot of the teams, man. But referees, it's 15-21. Now, I would have felt the same way if it would have happened to the Crocs or any other team, though. You just cannot have early whistles like that. Like, you can't blow plays dead that aren't like visibly dead. That was a clean fumble for one. Clean fumble. They blow it dead. I have no idea why they blew it dead, but that, for a team that could change the whole outlook on the game. You know what I'm saying? And then I believe the Crocs went down and scored. So that was a big, big turn in the game. But although that happened, the Roosters had ample chances to make stuff happen, and they just didn't get it going. So the Crocs won fair and square, and they made their plays they needed to make. So it was a good win by them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Crocs played really well. Like it was 21-0, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna be able to shut this thing off. But then, Bryce Nunley started making plays, and the Roosters got back into it. But it never really felt like the Roosters were going to win it. And it honestly, until that fumble happened, where you're like, okay, there's life. But then when it wasn't called a fumble, even though it was a fumble, we all agree it was a fumble. But nothing you can do about it now. It's one of those situations where when I'm looking at the Roosters team, this is not what I'm expecting this close to the end of the season. Normally, the Roosters are going more up than flat or down. And they kind of look like they're flat or down. I know they technically gave up a lot of points, but defensively they didn't play bad. It's just they got put in a bad situation. Like you said, like Ambrose turnovers and fumbles, like it's ridiculous. The two interceptions were credit to Tuoko for catching them, but he basically threw them to him both times. Yes. So you just have to be right place, right time. Those type of things put your defense in a bad spot where they can't necessarily stop the offense from scoring in those situations after that. I think they scored after both of those as well. But what I noticed in this game, because this was a good game to watch line play, look in the trenches. Roosters have some issues down there. They were missing Aho on the right guard spot, so they had Vertinen in there, who I think normally plays defensive line, and it was noticeable that he should not be at right guard. At halftime, they switched him. They put in a young kid who might be more accustomed to the position, but wasn't really an upgrade. They still were having trouble, and you saw it all game. There was pressure up the middle, as well as you have Akano and Coleman on the edges doing their thing. But I think they actually held up well against those two guys for most of the game. A lot of times when Akano or Coleman were able to get pressure is when Ambrose was holding the ball too long. Like you got like a 3.5 second like mental clock, and he was holding it sitting in there, and then you see those guys come in and make plays. But outside of that, I still feel like that offensive line is going to have some issues. I've been saying it all year. This offensive line isn't as good as they're accustomed to. And you saw in this game they weren't able to really run the ball well. I know they got the new import and they were getting him acclimated, but really early they had to kind of abandon the in between the tackle runs and started doing more of like zone and trying to get to the outside. That's not really their scheme. We've seen them. They like to pull some guys and get downhill. They're not like an outside zone, let's get around the corner offense, but they were trying to because they couldn't really control the middle because they didn't have the power up front that they needed. And that's just something I was noticing. I was watching offensive line play, defensive line. I like to see how good the linemen are against good D linemen. It helps me evaluate for my own purposes. But I think that's something I'm worried about with the Roosters going into the playoffs is normally at this time of the season, they're like firing on all cylinders. And right now, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling it. I'm not comfortable with the way it went down. Like I'd be fine with them losing, but I felt like it didn't seem like they could win this game.
Yeah.
I know you want that like comeback at the end, like what the Butchers did, but that still doesn't feel good. Like that doesn't feel good to have that type of like feeling going into the game. And you go into this, most of the game, you never felt like, oh, they're just going to overcome. I felt like both teams were just going to be able to score a lot at the end if it came to that. But moving to the next game, we got Wassa Royals versus Tampa the Saints. Before we get into this, I would just like to throw this out there. We pay attention to what's going on the line. And when I say the line, that's what I say for social media because I'm an old head and I'm cool with that. Look here. Any of you Royals players who are not Alpha Jallo or Royals parents of players who are not Alpha Jallo, calm down, guys. Just calm down. I'm sorry, but congratulations on beating a team with one win. Congratulations. And also, I've not heard anything from anybody in the Royals camp in the last 2 weeks while they were taking L's. As soon as they get a W, all of a sudden I got tagging, I got clown faces going everywhere. And I mean, if you're gonna do it, keep the same energy, guys. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. I mean, you're giving Homer Simpson in the bushes. You know, you fade out when you're losing, then you show back up when you get a win. And I mean, if we're keeping it a buck outside of that one game that they beat the Roosters early in the season, have they beat a good team? Have they beat a team with a winning record? Mm-mm. And normally I wouldn't go at a team like this, but you know, your offensive lineman Darius Hicks felt the need. He felt the need to tag us and put it on the line.
Got the clown face.
The clown face is the thing.
Though, like, I feel like that'd be like the clown face is like, dang, bro. So we picked wrong. Okay, I give you that. We picked wrong. But are y'all really like that good to be? You know, like that's what I say. Like if you're a top 2 team and we pick against you, I understand. You might feel like we don't know what we're talking about, but come on, bro. Y'all haven't been doing much lately, so I don't know where that clown energy come from. I don't do the clown stuff. But hey, it's social media. You know, y'all can live in whatever world you want to live in, man. All we gonna talk about and continue to talk about is facts. That's it. We not personal. It ain't none of that. Like
that's why I like to call the names out because normally, you know, Alpha puts on for the team, and we appreciate that because, in all honesty, without Alpha, they don't win that game. I said it, and tell me if I'm wrong. Like almost any game that they've won this season, you always go back to number 8 as the catalyst. And so when he does something like that, we're like, oh, we understand. You probably don't like that we didn't believe in you. Because that's really what we're saying. If we say the Royals are going to lose, we're saying that Alpha isn't going to be good enough to win the game.
Yeah.
And I can understand someone being upset about that. But when I have an offensive tackle calling me a clown for not picking his team, that I mean, nothing you did was going to change the game, buddy. Like you could protect the quarterback for 18 days, it wouldn't have made him catch or get those interceptions that Alpha made. I mean. That's all I'm saying. And then and unrelated, we have parents commenting about the show and stuff, but we appreciate those actually. Y'all just keep those coming. That's not a problem. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But you Royals players, you know, you guys, y'all should just stay hiding behind Alpha. That works. That works. Because if you try to like step out yourself and make yourself known,
now we gotta watch you.
Yeah, now we got to watch you.
We got to watch you, though, email.
Now, anything you do next week, we're watching because you brought it to our attention. So nothing we can do about that. But I guess now we should get into the game, win or loss. What do you think happened in this one with the Royals and the Saints?
Royals won the game.
Come on, man. You know what happened.
I get a little like, hey, the Royals won the game, man. They the greatest team ever. Let me stop joking, man.
The greatest.
I do feel like the Saints offense never got going, partially because you know the Royals got turnovers and when you can't finish drives and you can't get your offense going, you're gonna lose games. And this is a completely just I don't even know. I don't say meltdown, but I didn't expect the Saints offense to play like that because they've been looking a lot better over the last few games. But the Royals made the plays that they needed to make against them. Like you said, it's not like they're playing against a great team, but you know, they made the plays to win that game. Did they get better in this game? I don't really know. I don't think so. Because a lot of it was given to him. You know, Jesse forced a lot and then was trying to make plays and it just didn't happen for him. So Royals won. Y'all, you know, can't knock you for the win. You know, even though it wasn't that great of a performance offensively, but you know, y'all did your thing. I'll give you that this week.
I'm not giving them nothing. Technically, yes, the Royals won, but let's keep it 100. The Saints lost. I'm looking at my notes here. Saints turnovers in the first quarter. One fumble, one interception. Saints turnover in the second quarter. 3 interceptions. So you got 4 interceptions and a fumble in the first half. I'm sorry. You can't win the game. And that's what happened to the Saints. They can't win the game because they put themselves in the hole. And I say this with the utmost respect, the blame has to go on Jesse Robbins. Like he had some throws that were just off. Obviously, when they get in the meeting room, he's probably gonna be like, receiver, you got to keep running, because it looked like there was a lot of anticipation type of throws that the receiver just was nowhere in the window, which meant there was some communication. But ultimately, the quarterback has to take that, like that's on him. And when I look at this game, I say Jesse Robbins had a bad game, a really bad game, and the Royals capitalized. Now, for that, I do give the Royals their props that, with Alpha getting the 2 interceptions, they scored off of those. With the pat down ball that went in the air, who ended up getting it? Khalifa caught it. And then they scored on that possession. That's 21 points right there. 21 of their points came off of turnovers. So the Royals capitalizing on it. And then on the offensive side for the Royals, they did a really good job. They did not waste any time getting Alpha and Rankin in on offense. They played the offense the whole time. Basically what they did, and let's throw this out there as well, is they got rid of that second offensive line. I don't know if they sent him home or if he was hurt or something like that, but it's smart, and it shows that maybe doing the 2 offensive lineman thing doesn't work when Alpha is your best offensive weapon. But they did also get in Ami Linfors into the passing game as well, so they were able to do some things. But we also know that the Saints secondary is probably one of the worst in the league, honestly. And they made sure to throw it away from where Logan Collier was, so that's helpful. But I think that the Saints gave this game away, and the Royals just didn't give it back to them, which I can respect that. Like, you win the games you're supposed to win. This is a game you're supposed to win. But also shout out to Victor Montu, because he forced a fumble. He put his head on that ball. When they fumbled the ball early in the game, he put his helmet on the ball. That thing popped out. Can always appreciate that. But I do want to, before we get over this game, I do want to throw in there again that I don't think their quarterback threw an interception in this game. He actually had 4 touchdown passes, 8 for 11. But he did fumble the ball in the very first drive. So still turning the ball over every game this season. And that's what you're basing your team off of, is that our quarterback is not going to take care of the ball, and we expect to win. And all the games they've won have been against teams that haven't played well. And it just continues to go for this team. That's how they want to end the season. I guess that's how they will go. But shout out to Alpha for playing great. That man, this is what, season 3 or 4 that he's basically, you can give at least 3 or 4 of the wins to him. And you can say he's the reason they won this game. And he's doing a hell of a job doing it. But get into the last game of the weekend, the real game of the weekend. I enjoyed watching this one. Kuopio Steelers versus Porvoo Butchers. Now, did Butchers win it, or did the Steelers give it away?
Man. I feel like there's any time that you're up 9 points, technically 2 scored game in the fourth quarter, you should win the game. Although I played the game and I understand that stuff can still happen, but if it's my team and the team that I'm on, I feel like a 9-point lead is it's not a comfortable one, but it's one that I feel like we have to buckle down mistake-free football. And I don't believe Kuopio fully did that when they needed to. And I'll say this, Ethan Greenfield, the effect that he had on this game, he kept them in this game. And I don't want to say kept them as in they was getting blown out or something. He was a driver of their offense. He was a driver of this game. The
It went
game
for
went
him.
based on what he did. I was sitting there thinking, like, man, Ethan Greenfield has to have at least 30 carries. I was thinking that in my head, like, man, and he still probably could have had like 10 more easily. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But Scorpio made a decision to run him and let that offense go through him. The receivers did a real good job blocking. Their old line did a real good job blocking too. They made Portrude work for this win. I'll say that. And I'm only saying that because Portrude was the number one team, so obviously they're looked at as better. But this was a dogfight, a literally dogfight, because both teams weren't backing down, but their offenses were kept making plays and they kept, pushing the other team's defense to the limit. So great game, just all about even the way that Scorpio tackled in this game. They game tackled a lot. Like they made a lot of tackles, touchdown saving tackles that they maybe haven't been making before. But anytime that Christian Powell's on the field, Robitaille's on the field, and you're able to get these guys on the ground without big gains and stuff like that, you got to give yourself a chance to win. And that's what Scorpio did. I'll talk about this one play that I feel like had an effect. The pick six from Mickey was big,
Hey,
was big, but later on in the game, when you think about it, Scorpio had I believe they had the Butchers at like second and long or something, and Aaron B-Day scrambled, ran on the sideline. He kind of tiptoed up the sideline, but then he got out
oh
of
yeah.
bounds, and Lawrence Steffens hit it. It wasn't. I personally
I wouldn't have
I
called it.
wouldn't have been mad if they wouldn't have threw the flag. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been mad because I'm like, it wasn't like it was one of those bang bang like sideline. You running full speed, he kind of
He
tipping
trying to
up the
stop.
side,
And
and
yeah.
you trying to stop, and
He
you
barely
know what I'm
touched
saying.
him.
So but being in that point in the game and the refs throw the flag, and that's a 15-yard penalty and the first down in the red zone. The Butchers are just too good to not capitalize on that. And that had a big effect on the game too, even though that put the game 35-37. So that was a big, big penalty in this game. And Scorpio had played so good.
Jesse says he faked it.
He might be right.
He
He did a good
flopped.
acting job. He
He
did a good
straight
acting
flopped.
job. Man. He
Yeah.
did what he was supposed to do. He drew the flag, and they gave him the first down, and then they scored. So the Butchers, that moment I feel like kind of put a lot of pressure on Scorpio to go down and score. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, good game from both teams, but Portrude definitely won the game though.
I have to agree. I don't want to agree, but I believe they won the game. It was one of those games where, yeah, technically the Steelers were winning, but it was 22-21 at half, and that kind of told you what was going to go on. And they got up by a touchdown pretty much after that, and they went for two, so they ended up being up by 9 points, but it wasn't like they were actually two possessions up. They were pretty much always one possession up. And even when it came down to the end of the game, they were up by 2 points. So they still were technically up, but it just took one possession to bring them back, and that's what the Butchers did. They was always up by like one possession pretty much. And from what I saw, the Butchers are not beatable.
Yeah, yeah,
Only
yeah.
only
They
because
healed
that's the situation you want to be in. If anybody's playing football, you want to be in a situation where at the end of the game, you have the ball. Can you go get it? And at the end of this game, with a little bit over 2 minutes left, the Steelers had the ball, couldn't finish it. 4th and 9 with like 2.15 or something left.
Yeah.
They go for a long pass, it's incomplete. Now they give the Butchers 75 yards to go with 2 minutes and a 2-minute warning. And what the Butchers did, they went down there and got them
They
points.
scored. Yeah.
And that was the difference in the game. Like everything that happened, it happened. It was cool. But ultimately, with 2 minutes left in the game, you both had the same situation. One team wasn't able to continue a drive. The other team was when it counted the most. That's hard to beat. Like you can't get any better than what the Steelers did in this game. They played a great game. They had a great philosophy. They adjusted when they needed to. They really had the Butchers on their heels for most of the game. But both offenses were able to move the ball. It wasn't like either offense was like creating all these turnovers. You give credit to Mickey J for the interception because it was a pick six, and that might have been maybe the only like game-changing defensive play from that aspect. Or am I overshooting it?
No,
Like,
no,
I don't
it
think
was.
I don't think
You
anybody
think
else
about
had.
it, Zach Wright didn't really get a chance to make a lot of plays like in the passing game because they ran the ball so much. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
you couldn't really change the game on either side, and neither defense was like shut them down. We're gonna do that. But that pick six, it happened early. It happened in a situation that if they didn't get that pick six, it actually would have gave the Steelers that 2-possession lead if they go down and score.
Mhm.
And at the end of the game, that's what it comes back to me is that them being in the game is all the Butchers needed. As long as it was close enough that they could win or could score at the end of the game, they have the talent, they have the team to do it. But I do want to talk about something interesting at the end of the game that I think is a little bit of foreshadowing going into the playoffs is that with 20 something seconds left, the Butchers took out Zach Wright on defense and they put in Robitaille and Lucas Erla back there. Now, I mean, to me, just what I wrote in my notes is putting in speed receivers at the end of the game showed that Butchers were a little bit scared of that Steelers offense. Because, I mean, in this
I know
game,
why they signed another DB. Now I know why they signed another DB because they
yeah,
just lacking in the corner position.
Miko
They do not
Sepinen
have-
was trying, but there was only so
Yeah,
much the man could do.
yeah. That was who was that beat Nico? Beat Nico. Was that Noah Cho or Isaac
No,
Marshall? Was Noah Cho?
that was number 20. Sorry, I don't know why I can't say that. Isaac Marshall.
Isaac
Isaac
Marshall.
Marshall beat him on like a
Yeah.
post or something.
Yeah.
Had Miko
Love
all
Nico to
turned
death,
around.
but that ain't
Yeah,
his position.
he had him spinning in a circle
Yeah,
back.
that ain't his position right there.
I couldn't see the angle to see what he did if he did a move or something, but yeah, Miko was like, "Nah, this ain't for me."
Yeah,
Like,
he was like, nah, I'm trying, but this ain't it right here. But yeah, I mean, Porvo, still won the game, and they got pushed. They got pushed. You can't deny they got pushed. I think right now, I'm not Porvo. I think the Steelers should feel real good and real bad right now because they was that close. You know what I'm saying? To clipping the Butchers, and also too measuring wise, if you see them again, you know what to expect. And also, you can see the mistakes that you made and say, "Hey, you know what? Next time, maybe we'll do a better job of covering those screens. Next time, we'll do a good job of keeping Aaron B there in the pocket or trying to, because if you don't keep him in the pocket, he will hurt you with his legs, and that's what he did, man. There was times where I was just like, whoa, like it's nothing they could defensively. There's nothing you could do. You can't if you spy." You know what I mean? You're gonna leave somebody to be one-on-one somewhere, and you don't want that. So it was a hard task for them to do. But Corpio made it a hell of a game, though. Coach Malley did a good job against the Butchers.
You got to look at it and just be like, "We're right there." And I mean, if I'm the Steelers, I'm looking at the game, and obviously, any mistakes you make, you're magnifying them, but ultimately, you're right there. It's what do you say in college? My scholarship versus their scholarship, right? Like that's what that's what it came down to. Like, are y'all gonna make a play or are we gonna make a play? I still say that the last drive, them not being able to convert, that was probably the biggest difference because the Steelers offense was moving. Like there was never a situation where I felt like they weren't able to move the ball. And then with just a little bit over 2 minutes, they stalled in the red zone.
Can't do that.
If they get that first down, you run out the clock. You're done.
Yeah.
But instead, it's one of those situations of giving the ball to like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady at the end of the game. Why? Why you don't want to do that?
Yeah. Bad
I thought it was
position.
crazy. I thought it was crazy when they decided to go for it on fourth down. It was 4th and 9, and they threw a pass. Actually, the third down play, I think was a pass too. I think that was what I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
because
I mean, good play call. Good play call. Just not a good ball.
I would have punted it. I would have punted it out of bounds at the 3-yard line and made him go 97. Like, because I felt like they were like
you run the screen. I think because the Butchers at that point had put in
that's what happened.
They put
My mind
29 in. They put 29 in. The little guy for the Butchers, and they put him in. They had him at corner, and the screen they tried to throw to Ethan Greenfield had the flash had the other screen. They didn't throw that screen. That's the screen they should have threw because they had what they wanted. They had 2-on-2 blocking and the guy that's catching the ball. So I don't know why they didn't.
You know what? Now that I'm remembering it right, you're right. That's what happened on 3rd and 9. They tried to screen the Greenfield, which is a safe play, and he dropped it. Oh, he got to feel bad. I mean, he can't feel that bad, but he got to feel bad because even if he just catches that, the clock goes. Even if he just catches it and falls, the clock goes, and you can get time. You can walk all the time. But if he catches that and gets a first down, game's over. Oh, wow. That's why I say if I'm the Steelers, I don't feel like, oh, man, we just not good enough. I feel like we'll get them next time. If I'm the Butchers, I'm exactly like what they did with putting all the people out there at the end of the game. I'm scared shitless because we don't know what happens if next time we don't get the ball at the end.
Yeah.
And we have to play defense to win the game. No offense, but this defense is not that good. Like, it's just not that good. So, and again, if you don't have Zach Wright creating turnovers on your defense, that's what it looks like. It's a decent defense, but there's not a great force up front. Linebackers can get to the ball, but in this game, I'm sorry, but I feel like Ethan Greenfield owned everybody on that defense.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he was better than it. Because I've seen everybody miss tackles. And not saying like they were whiffing. I mean, he was breaking tackles. I've seen everybody get a hold of him and him get them off of them very quickly because he runs with that like beast mode mentality. So he's moving so much that you just can't grab him because he's constantly going somewhere. But yeah, it was a good game though. It makes me excited for the future, and I'm ready to get into the playoffs. So I don't even want to. Speaking of playoffs, let's talk about playoffs here after this break. Yeah, that's what we'll do. All right, so playoff picture. Let's take a look at it. Here are the standings, I guess, according to the Vada Liga website. And what I'm about to say now, these aren't our power rankings because our power rankings probably won't match the standings because we're going to make some moves this week. First place, you got Porvoo Butchers at 9-0. Second place, you got Helsinki Roosters at 6-3. Third place is the Crocodiles at 6-3. And fourth place is the Steelers at 5-3. Fifth place, you have the Royals at 5-4. And then you have ECA Giants 2-7, Helsinki Wolverines 1-7, Tampa Saints 1-8. So the way it looks now, the Butchers have the Wolverines, Roosters have the Saints, Crocs have the Royals, Steelers have ECG and the Wolverines. So for all intents and purposes, nobody can win more than 9 games. The Butchers have number 1 seed locked up. 2, 3, and 4 are still up for grabs because everybody pretty much has the same record.
You said the Crocs play who?
The Crocs have the Royals.
So if the Royals win that game,
they would go to 6. If the Royals win that game, they go to 6-4, and the Crocodiles go to 6-4.
So who would be number 4 then? Who would be the 4th team?
I think there's got to be a tiebreaker from them. I think they play each other twice, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go look at them. Let me click on these teams and see if they played each other enough times. Because normally it's a head-to-head tiebreaker if you play each other like once, but if you play each other twice, it's the record of the games you played. So the Royals – oh, God. They lost 21-2 last time these two teams played. So they lost by 19. So to get the tiebreaker, they got to win and win by 20.
20. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't see that. I don't see that happening. Do you see
Well, they
that
got to play.
happening?
They should have to play in what's the name now, right? They should have to play in Boston now.
Yeah, it's in
I
Vasa.
believe they said-
I mean,
yeah.
but that's like it's across the street from Senioki.
Yeah. So as
Oh,
it stands, right? So as it stands, any place. So okay, 2, 3, and 4 could change, but the Steelers got ECG and the Wolverines, which probably gonna be
two
dubs for
more
them.
wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll put them at 7-3. And I think the Roosters, if they beat the Saints, they would be at 7-3. So I don't know who wins the tiebreaker there because the Steelers lost to the Roosters, right?
Yeah.
So the Roosters have the tiebreaker on them.
So the fight right now is obviously 2, 3, and 4. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be if you're the Crocs? Where do you want to be if you're the what do you think? Like if I'm the Steelers, obviously I want to be 2. If I'm the Steelers,
I think the Steelers. The issue with the Steelers is they can get to 2, but they need the Saints to win.
Yeah, which
They can be tied with because they lost to the Roosters. Yeah, 13-9. Yeah.
Well, either way, they could be 3, so they could be 3. So right now, you want to be 2 or 3, if you're anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to be 4, obviously, and you got to start off with the Butchers.
Mm-hmm. So hold on. I guess the question would be if the Crocodiles win, they also go to 7-3.
Yeah.
And right now they're ahead of the Steelers, but I think that's because of the record, right? Because they lost to the Steelers 31-17. So it comes down to okay, if everybody wins, it would go Butchers, Roosters, Steelers, Crocs. That's probably how it's gonna go.
Man. Woo. Yeah, that's if it stayed like that, that'd be pretty interesting right there. Should I say? That'd be pretty interesting.
I
2 and 3.
2 and 3 is Roosters and Steelers. I'm trying to see.
I think the Steelers believe they can, and I might be talking for them. I think the Steelers believe they can beat the Roosters. I'm sure they think that now.
They got to. I mean, shoot,
Yeah.
I think it for them. I believe y'all could beat the Roosters, especially the Roosters we just saw play the last couple weeks. Like,
Roosters
it's not been great.
Playing like that, yeah.
Let me see. Hold up. What am I looking at? I don't know why, but I'm looking at the Butchers. Who are the Butchers? Oh, the Butchers, when they played the Crocs, they spanked them 17-42.
Yeah.
But that was about a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I guess honestly, like if you just saw the way the Butchers played, you could still feel like you could hang with them from the Crocs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because hold up. Yeah, they just upset the Roosters, so why not upset the Butchers too? I think the hardest thing is that everybody has a game this week, but then the Steelers have a game the following week. Everybody else gets a bye before the playoffs.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I wouldn't want to bye before the playoffs.
You wouldn't want it?
Nah. Nah. Not unless I'm the Butchers.
Yeah.
Not unless I'm the Butchers. The Butchers I understand because it's kind of like a first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm 2, 3, or 4, I want my team to be in playoff mode. You know, obviously you could use the break because you can get guys back healthy. But I think if you're in playoff mode, it's better. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
Basically,
it's the playoffs. I'll say that. I don't think it should be the typical playoff like we used to seeing.
Yeah, what we're going to be seeing most likely is a rested Roosters team against a Steelers team that's probably like clicking.
Yeah.
Because the Steelers had like a 2-week break during the season. So now they have to finish the season kind of playing games. But it'll definitely be interesting to see. Yeah, I think that's the playoff picture, though. I just wanted to go through it a little bit. We'll get into these games this week now. Maple League teams are back in action on Thursday. First game, we have East City Giants versus Helsinki Wolver. No, that can't be right. Is that right? No. Am I saying the wrong games? Yep. Sorry. First game. I must have wrote it in here wrong, but it's on here right on this part. Yeah. Sorry. So the first game is Porvoo Butchers versus Helsinki Wolverines. Then there's Tampere Saints versus Helsinki Roosters. Then we have East City Giants versus Kuopio Steelers. And the final game is Wassa Royals versus Seinäjoki Crocodiles. I didn't write it correctly in the paragraph for some reason. But let's talk a little bit about all these games. We'll get into the first game, Butchers versus Wolverines. What's an interesting storyline or question you got in this one?
How long will Aaron B-Day and Christian Powell play? Will they make it to the second half? Because I just think the Butchers are going to try to get their guys out of there. You don't really want nobody. Defensively, now they're going to have to play some people. Defensively, some of their guys are going to have to play the other side of the ball. Mickey will probably play, obviously, majority of the game. But Wolverines got to make a decision on whether they want to throw the ball against these guys or try to throw the ball against these guys. But it's possible, as we can see, for them to give up big plays in the passing game. So I'm not saying that I think Wolverines have a chance, but I just want to throw some positive out there for the Wolverines to think about, because they got some receivers that can make plays down the field if they can just get the ball. But the Butchers' overall offense, Christian Powell is going to be a lot. Aaron B. is going to be a lot for them to deal with that defense for the Wolverines. So, yeah, I don't want to talk too long on that because I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, I guess this is one of those games where I think for me the storyline is, can we keep it under 50? Can we keep it can we keep it under 50? That's pretty much it. Mostly it's for the Wolverines. Can we keep it under 50? Can we keep it respectable, guys? 34-7, 35-10, something like that, instead of 42-0 or 50, what is it? 56-7 situation. I don't want to see that. Can we just keep it respectable? At this point, we're not expecting a lot from the Wolverines, but this is that time of the year where it's good to see if there's any fight in you. And I would say not even from the organization, because I don't believe the organization has any fight in them. Whoever's in charge and stuff, they're just going through the motions. But the players on the field, you're the players. It's up to you guys to set some type of hey, we're not going to just show up. We're going to show up and play. So seeing that fight, are they going to be good for the team going forward? Give you a little bit of morale, knowing that you're there to compete, not just there to be there. And also, Porvoo's a beautiful place to go play a football game. So enjoy yourselves, guys. Play football while you're there. I guess we'll have to get into the rest of the games because that's about it for this one. Interesting aspect with this being the last game of the season, I wonder what the stats will look like for some of these Butchers people, because this could also be a stat game. It's your last opportunity to get the stats. So, unrelated to football, if you're on the Butchers, I would take this week to look at where you are in the stats and see what you need to do to, finish up top. I haven't looked at anybody recently, but normally the Butchers are at the top of everything. But I know the receiver stats are what's going to be tough. because they've been spreading the ball around a little bit lately.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure Robitaille, Lucas Arela, make sure they all get their yards. Let me look at it. What is it? Passing yards, Christian Aaron B. He's up by like 400 yards.
Not
He has
surprised.
two. He has 2,000, and Aaron Bro has 1,600. So he don't even have to play. He honestly
Yeah.
does not have to play. Let's see. It says touchdowns. Christian Powell is leading the league. Rushing yards, Deontay Sip has 1178. Christian Powell has 1119. So, I mean, you might want to let him get a good 100 or something like that next game, just to make sure. Let me see receiving yards. It says receptions. Hold on. No, I went by players. Top 5 receptions, receiving yards. Okay. Receiving yards. Looks like Lucas Arela is leading the league with 768. Obata has 581. But in second is Bryce Nunley with 688. So he would need like at least 80 yards to catch up to Lucas. So I guess make sure that Lucas Arela gets about 50, 60 yards in this game.
Yeah. So
Right?
the Bush's got somebody in the top 5 of almost everything.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
how it's gonna go for them. They got top 5 everything. And then I mean offensively, that's the easiest ones that you kind of manipulate.
Yeah.
Defensively, it's probably gonna look a little bit different. You just gotta play. You can't really like manipulate the defensive stats. But let me take a look at them anyways. Jalen Todd.
Interceptions.
Jalen Todd has 79 total tackles, and the second place person is Alex Harriott with 63. So he got him by 15 tackles already. So that's probably a lock. And then interceptions, Mickey J is leading the league with 6.
Wow.
Zach Wright has 5.
Yeah. That's what I can change. That's got to be dope, though. Both your safeties.
Yeah. And then the next 2 guys with 4 interceptions are the Crocodile safeties, Atu Tuoko and Oxley Sirainen. And then the Crocodile corner, Yuho Kasadi, has 3 interceptions.
Oh.
And I mean, so like, they pretty much got those locked up between the Crocs and the Butchers. And then if we go sacks, Akano has 12.5, which I think is the record, if I'm not mistaken. So he could break the record. And then Tylen Riley Coleman has 7. So that's the next closest. And then Oko has 6. So
yeah. Kind of doing
I mean,
work. Boy.
Yeah, so for a team like the Butchers, they really can rest everybody pretty much. Have Lucas go out there, catch about 20, 30 yards, and secure that number 1 spot, and you're good to go. After that, everybody else can pretty much rest. Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. Stat pattern. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, next game we have is Tampa the Saints versus Helsinki Roosters. Story, question line in this one you got?
What Saints team is going to show up? What Saints team? Like I said, I feel like the last few games, the Saints looked a lot better, bringing in Collier to their offense. But the game they had against the Royals, you can't have a game like that against the Roosters. You can pretty much guarantee you're probably going to lose that game too. They had to figure out, a way to not turn the ball over. And I know that's not something Jesse just does all the time. And when you want to make plays happen and you want stuff to happen, sometimes you force things and you put yourself in the offense in bad situations. So are the Saints going to come out and give a better performance than what they did last week? And the same thing goes for the Roosters. Are they going to come out? Ambrose, are you going to bounce back from this horrific game that he had? I won't say horrific. Horrific sounds bad. but it was. It
We've
was. You
seen
don't want
worse. That's
yeah,
fair to say.
you can't be the reason why your team goes down 21 points or whatever. And you gotta and if you're a quarterback, you'll put it on yourself. That's just one of those things because you in charge of not turning the ball over. And he knows that obviously his play wasn't that great. So he has to come back out and bounce back and put up a lot of points and get the confidence back from your team too. Get those guys back, to have your back and get ready for the playoffs. And the Saints will just be, in the way right now. But they have to come perform and perform in a good way. So we'll see. Interesting aspect. Um, can the Saints put some points on the board?
Mm,
That's the same thing. That's something they couldn't
smart.
do last week. So that's the biggest question.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the Roosters. I want to know. I got two questions for the Roosters. The first question is, how do you bounce back after last week's loss? Like, want to see your resolve and what do you do to bounce back? But a second question would be, how do you finish the season? This is uncharacteristic of them to be going towards what I would say the last week of the season and me not feeling like, oh, this is the best team. Like, even in years where the Roosters have not won a championship, on the last week, we're still like, oh, this is not a team you want to play in the playoff. Like, that's how you
Yeah,
always feel about them. And it
yeah,
just, I feel a little like icky, like I don't feel as confident as I normally feel about this team, about how they progress through the season. So I really want to see how they play in this game. And I hope that it's one of those games where I don't think they have to necessarily like dominate the Saints to have a good game. I agree with you. The Saints are a much better team than what they played last week. And I'll go back to my stats. 5 turnovers in the first half. Come on now. Like that's not football. And that's what the Saints
yeah,
did last week.
yeah,
And a lot of them were, on the quarterback, overthrowing balls and stuff like that. So I think in this game, you don't see that from either team. We get a closer matchup. I'm thinking a 2-score type of game. If that happens, neither the Saints nor the Roosters are feeling like, oh, we didn't play up to our level. The Saints should be within a touchdown or two of this team, but also the Roosters should be able to win this game by 2 scores convincingly. And if they go out and do that, then you've answered my questions that you understand what you need to do, you're focused, and you're ready. But if this is one of those games where sporadic play, we don't know how things are going, maybe Ambrose doesn't respond well from what happened last week, then I'm a little scared going to the playoffs. So I hope they respond well. So that's my real question is how do you respond? All right. Next game we have East City Giants versus Kuopio Steelers. You doing that? What are your thoughts on this one?
Just Scorpio. What they'll bring to this game compared to this last game against the Butchers? Will they kind of lay off the reps for Ethan Greenfield against ECG? I think they'll probably go and work on more in that passing game against ECG. More so than I don't foresee Ethan Greenfield getting 30 carries against ECG. I don't think they need that. But I can see him getting 12 to 15 maybe, and that being enough to get him, a win. But ECG, they feeling good coming off a win and ready to, when you come off a win, you feel like you beat anybody, and
Mm,
that's how you should. And that's how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel like you're getting better, and I expect them to come to this game excited, but at the same time, I think Scorpio will do a good job defensively. Being aggressive like they was, and I think it'd probably be too much for ECG, but we'll see. I mean, we got one team that just had a close game and lost, so they looking to take it out on somebody. And ECG
mm.
just winning the game, and they looking to upset, and who knows, So yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see, how Scorpio approaches this game.
I'm gonna ignore Kuopio because I think they got a weird setup because they have to win, but at the same time they have to think like larger picture.
Wow.
But for so that's tough. I don't even want to mess with that. But for ECG, I think it's pretty simple. Survive, guys. You did it. You made it. You won 2 games in the Maple League in your first season. Do not do more than that this weekend. Do not go out there because if I'm looking at it correctly, the wide receiver, Damn Daniel, hurt. Quarterback in the last game, hurt. I don't know if they plan to bring Rainer Stewart back. I don't know if he's hurt for the whole season, but I do know that he was hurt and he got one more game left. I don't want to end the season on injuries. I want to end it healthy, playing football, and calling the season a success that it was that you competed in the Maple League this year. So the storyline I want to see from them is can they stay healthy? I seen a couple guys on their sideline in the last game. There was a defensive lineman wearing an arm cast. I know Kevin Sweetie, who was playing corner for them in a little bit, he got hurt. Like, they've had a lot of injuries this year in their first year in the Maple League. So for me, can you be healthy throughout this game? That's what I'm going to say for ECD Giants. And interesting aspects is I really hope this is the last time we have to see those Bumblebee jerseys. That'd be nice. I hope next year they go with a whole different look. That's all, because I just don't care for it. Last game of the weekend, we have Wausau Royals versus Sineoki Crocodiles. What do you got in this one?
Interesting I don't say interesting aspect, but I think the Crocs will do what the Crocs been doing. I think they'll keep the ball in Brandon Lyles and Sip's hand, and let that be enough for them. And they'll have to stop that. And on the defensive side, the same, with Akano still bringing a lot of pressure. And the Royals won't have a lot of time to pass. So it'll be interesting to see what they, come out and do. Are they going to come out and try to run the ball to try to keep the Crocs offense off the field? And they'll try to prolong some drives. We'll see how much will Alpha play on offense because that could make a difference, obviously, in this game too. But can the Crocs keep Alpha from making plays on the defensive side of the ball that's going to affect the outcome of the game? So there's a lot of factors in this game that could come into play. Right now, I believe the Crocs are a better team. But like we said earlier, anything can happen when Alpha touches the ball a lot. And at this point in the game, in the season, the Royals, being the Royals, are always right there. Some kind of way, they always right there in the mix of playoff and maybe not playoff. So we're here again, and this game has big playoff implications. And I expect it to be interesting. I won't say entertaining, but I expect it to be interesting because both teams need the win. So we're probably going to see some things that we don't normally see. But it's a good end of the season type of game. Get ready for the playoff type of game. Very important game. It's like a playoff game if you want to say it, because the Crocs need to keep going and keep chugging and trying to get ready for the playoffs. And at the same time, the Royals is trying to make they stake in it. So we'll see.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm just not realizing the Crocodiles don't have to win.
Mm-hmm.
They can just cover the spread. Just cover the spread. That's all they got to do is cover the spread. Keep it close enough. I don't think anybody who plays football is going to have that mentality. Obviously, they're going to try to win the game. But what could be interesting is, it's the Botnia Bowl. It actually matters this time. Like, it actually does matter. I could say that. Like, the Botnia Bowl matters finally for the first time since I've ever heard about it. It's an important game, and you're going to win a trophy either way. I think for the Royals, if what we think is correct and you have to win by a certain amount of points, it's one of those games where you're going to be pressing the entire time, and you need to. And if the Crocodiles on the other side, you also need to be pressing, because there's no point in playing like you have a lead. Like that's not a good way to play. That usually ends up to more mistakes. So it's going to be interesting to see how both teams approach it. Do the Royals come in and try to just win the game, or do they come in trying to do way more than what's necessary? Same thing for the Crocs. When they come into the game, does it look like they're just keeping it like mellow, or are they just trying to win? Be an interesting one. And it's probably the only game I actually want to watch this weekend. The rest of them, I expect things to happen fairly quickly, and I shouldn't have to watch that much. But this game, I'd like to see it go all 4 quarters. I'd like to see it be close. I like to see at the end, maybe the Royals get up by enough points that we start thinking about the playoffs. I like it to be interesting. Just for the drama of it all, I'd like it to be interesting. But my picks will probably let you know what's really going to happen. All right, that is it for this episode of American Football in Finland. Any last words before we get out of here?
No, man, we getting close to the end, and some interesting games coming up, man. And we went what 1 for 3, 1 for 4 last weekend. So
don't hold me to my pick 'em.
No, my pick'ems is literally spur of the moment when you ask us what our picks are. So I don't really even think too deep into. I just go with my first thought. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all don't take these picks so seriously. It's all right.
We're just picking. It's just fun, gosh.
It's all right.
But so that's it for the weekend. We'll be back next weekend with more, insights and stuff. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, and share on all social channels at American Football in Finland. Until next time, never forget
T
I
F.
And we gone.
There you go.
Try to end this thing.